Hi friends, it's Sarah with Ruffles and Rain Boots, and today I'm going to make a standing, pretty large gnome. If you'd like to make it, boop, just stick around. As always, please give this video a like so that I know you're here. Now, I've been asked for bigger and bigger gnomes, but there's a lot of people who are afraid of power tools. So this is an easy way to get a weighted gnome in not too much time at all. All right, so as you can see, I'm going to be using a large cone. Now, this is dependent on you. You can get the small ones, you can get the largest one there is. I'm going to be using a husky fur with a comb and a 1-inch wood ball for a nose. I'll have scissors, a detailed tip glue gun, and a thrift store sweater. I just really like it. It looks very wintry and fuzzy and fun. So as you can imagine, we're just going to cover the entire thing in a sleeve. Now, if you don't have a sleeve, like you've already cut them off, don't worry. You can make a sleeve type shape just using a triangle. So you can choose to cut off or use the actual like wristband or waistband of the sweater. And then just make sure that you're actually adding a little bit on the bottom before when you're cutting it all off. All right, so here you can see I still have my little what is that, wristband? I'm not sure what that part of the sweater is called, y'all. The wrist, I don't know. Anyway, you can just tie it up like this. You can tuck it in and hide it and add a pom-pom to the top. There's a lot of ways just to use the same stuff. So I'm going to tuck in the ribbed portion, but I want to keep it because it gives it a lot of structure. And so I'm tying this at the top of the actual cone. My cone is flat at the top, so I'm just going to let it sit right there at the top. This is an easy gnome. This is all real time. I haven't done a thing here. I'm just going to trim this down a little bit because I have like 3 inches of fabric here. So let me just speed this part up. And then now what I'm going to do is, as you can imagine, I'm going to tuck it in like that. So you can cut tabs like I'm doing, or you can just fold it down. If you are cutting tabs, be sure that you have an idea where you want to put your feet because you don't want to overlap everything. So for the feet, I have another video detailing on how I made these feet. I love it. It's a super easy way to get a weighted footbed that you can decorate, build up, build out, or just be done with in about 2 minutes. So I'll go ahead and link that in the description box and maybe in the comment section below for you all. After I folded all of my tabs down, I just cut off any excess so it wouldn't show through. And you can see here, there's the flat top of my cone. I just want to secure this in place in case I store it away. I don't want it to be moving about. I don't want this tie showing, so I'm going to double knot that as close as I can and cut off the excess. I am using a husky faux fur. I love this fur. It's so pretty. I'm just going to eyeball the size that I need, which is going to depend upon your cone. So you can make a rectangle, you can make a square, you can make a U, or you can make a V shape. None of it matters. It's just going to change the way, number one, it's going to change the amount of fur you use, but it's also going to change the way that fur looks on the gnome. So I would just say if you're new to gnome making, just play with it. This is a pretty long pile. I want to say it's about 3 inches. It's got some squirrely little black tips that are really cool. Thought it was very wintry. I'm just using a razor blade or a box cutter or an X-Acto knife and cutting only the fabric backing of the faux fur. And that way you have this beautiful fur without any cutoff or any transfer. You can see if you have one of those little strings like that, you can cut it off. But I'm not gonna because I'm just gonna prep this for a non-covered beard. And what that means is you're not gonna have a hat covering up the top of the ugly part of the beard. So what we're gonna do is just glue down the top ½ inch or so of the beard. And that's gonna give you a nice, beautiful finish at the top. I get a lot of questions on this kind of stuff. So if you are new here, ask away in the comments section. Easy gnomes like this, where you just use scissors and a hot glue gun with some basic craft supplies, are absolutely within your reach. And you can join the Facebook group if you want to see some really fun and really detailed gnomes. So I'm just going to use this little comb here to split the faux fur to its fabric backing. I am brushing up a little tiny bit of the fur on top, and I'm splitting it to that fabric mesh backing here, and that's where I'm going to attach my nose. If you attach it to the faux fur, it's more likely to detach, especially if you ship or store. So I'm just adding a generous portion of hot glue, figuring out what part I want of the little ball to be the front of the nose, and then just holding that there until it's set. You can brush down the top of the fur, or just let it go wild, whatever floats your boat, whatever strikes your fancy. We're not picky here. So now, can you imagine what I'm going to do? I'm just going to hot glue this right here. Now, the good news is that if you're using a sweater, the hot glue will actually seep through to the cone. The bad news is if you're using a really, really thin fabric, you have to make sure the hot glue doesn't burn through the cone. So just, keep an eye on that. You can actually even just put hot glue directly onto the bottom of your cone to see how well it takes it. That temperature is what gets the cone to break down. But I'm just going to glue mine here, and it's been on there now a couple months, and it's working just fine near my fireplace. Okay, so I'm just pressing it down, making sure all of the corners, the sides are down over here. So the reason I'm doing this is because we don't want it to catch on anything, and we want it to look as tailored as we possibly can. So I kind of pull it back and just get all the corners, get the bottom, and everything like that. All right, so you could be done here and just decorate everything, or you can be a little extra. Y'all know me. I'm a little extra, so let's add something here. These are those Dollar Tree snowflakes. I think they're technically package tags, but I bought them, and it's part of my use it or lose it, Sarah, because I moved so much stuff from Seattle to Texas, and my poor little craft room is overstuffed, that I'm just going to make this a nice little pretty decoration up here. Maybe I'll use them on packages next year. I'm not sure. But they're just kind of lightly sparkled snowflakes. I thought it was a nice little addition for a winter gnome that I can leave out after Christmas. All right. So again, you can stand this guy up and be done. Or let's be extra. Okay, so those are plaster and pencils. That's all they are. And I really like the pencils. They were from the Dollar Tree, and they're very, very sparkly and wintry. So I'm just going to cut off a little piece of the sweater, the same sweater I used from the thrift store. And I'm cutting like little rectangles. And you're going to watch, you're going to be pretty impressed. Okay, this is fancy. I add a little hot glue back here, and I turn it up. Now, if you still have fingerprints from, crafting, I don't, so you can use something to not glue yourself to these shoes. But look, this is it, y'all. All I'm going to do is just glue this stuff up for a nice little dainty shoe. The reason you can absolutely add stuffing here, I didn't want to because I'm just going to gather it. I want the leg to be the focal point. So, which is why I'm not using an ornament. I'm not using handmade shoes. This is just a quick way to make a weighted shoe that, you can stuff it or leave it plain. So all I'm going to do here is gather this up and tuck in these front two pieces. Now, if you were to wrap like a Dollar Tree bootie, it looks exactly the same. Well, this one's kind of fuzzy, so you can't really see the pleat, but you're just pleating it in front. You can absolutely lace it up with some matching string or twine that you used on your decorations. I am just going to use the same matching twine that I used on that snowflake. I'm just going to gather up the fabric here right at the base of the quote ankle, and then give it a couple of knots, tie it pretty tight, and then cut off all the excess. Are you impressed? I just had this idea forever. I drew it in Procreate years and years and years ago when I found this sweater. And yeah, I just really like it. All right, so you're going to repeat that with the second shoe, which I'm not going to, I'm not going to make you watch as slow as the first one, but I know I'm going to get questions on this. These are one of my favorite shoe bases because you can use soap mold to make them any size, any shape. And honestly, they're a lot better than weighting anything down with food products. And it's a lot cheaper than weighting anything down with metal objects like screws or hex nuts or whatever. So I really, really think that if you're a gnome maker and you want the weighted shoes, you can try this method. Let me know if you do below. I absolutely love it. I have some really, really big ones. I hope to be sharing that video with you all soon. I'm telling you, this is one of my favorite ways to make the shoes. All right. So again, you can add stuffing to round out that toe, but I'm not going to. I want to highlight, look at those sparkly pencils. And I wait to sharpen my pencils until afterwards because I'm extremely accident prone. So I would be poking myself 100 times over. All right, so just give this a trim with much sharper scissors than those. And now we're ready. And you can add like a cute little fuzzy trim, yarn or anything you like. Teeny tiny snowflakes would be cute on that front pleat. And here you have your little shoes. All right, I'm gonna go take these upstairs to my daughter's pencil sharpener. And now I have pokey bits. So I'm just going to line them up centered with the nose, but skewed. Okay, so this is hard to explain for those of you new to this. You're not gonna put them perfectly straight, okay? So we want to go just a little farther back than center, and that's going to allow you to get the weighted portion proper. So you can see I'm just a little farther back from center and I'm just using the pokey edge, no, pokey point of my scissors to start it. And then once you start it, ooh, they go right in just like that. Sorry, my head was in the way. I turn them out because I think it's cute. Just make sure they're in and make sure, nope, you gotta make sure they're like the same distance from the bottom. No, what is that called? Wow, the same height. I should not be doing this today. All right, so now I'm just going to secure a whole bunch of glue around here, and the sweater will cover it up. You can just move that sweater back into place over any outside edges of the pencils or the holes. If you want it shorter, you can just push it down and then glue it in place. But I wanted quite a bit of my, you can see my little legs to be showing. And this guy is sitting on my fireplace. He's super sweet. And he's great because now that all my Christmas decorations are down, he still looks good. Let me know, friends. Let me know what you think of this in the comments section below. I really appreciate you being here. Please like, share, and subscribe for more crafty fun.